Okay, so in this one, having just done the rudders last time out, what we're going to do is look at the Elevons stroke mix of flaps and Elevons, I guess is the best way to put this. Now, in the Tejas and the other ones, I actually haven't included a flaps lever, I don't think. I remember having included a lot of flaps lever anyway. Flaps. Switch. I never did. I did include a flat switch. I can't remember that much now. Okay, so that's fine. So we can put flaps into it. Cool, that's fine. Okay, let's just zoom back out again. So what we can do is, so here we've got, on the F117, we've got two outer ones and two inner ones. So what I'm probably going to do is make the outer one's going to be aileron stroke Elevon, and the inner one be your Elevon stroke flaps. And that way we should have enough output between them. I think that should work out. So similar to how we did the rudders before, if you remember, we had to fix it so that they actually had the correct setup on them. So first off, what we're going to do here is we've got these two working here. Just looking at that, I'm going to guess that if I drop that out there, that's yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. So you can see here it's aligned along that z-axis actually, so that's fine. Just move it back. I'm going to say that's the same as well on that side. So okay, so what we're going to have to do is going to have to again have to add arrows to these initially, a bit like we did with up here. We have to add the arrows into them, and then what we'll need to do is we'll need to make sure that they actually rotate along the correct thing. Question whether we really need to do anything more with that. I might add another pivot inside that is similar to what I did with that here, just because it just has an advantage when you're doing this stuff quite often, to have a separate place to have the pivot inside of. Maybe not necessary for this bit really, strictly speaking. So it's a bit of a debate, if I'm being honest, whether it's worth it or not. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't add another pivot point in. I'm not sure what advantage it might give me this time. Okie dokie. Maybe I won't do that. It's okay. So what we need to do is similar to what we did with the rudder up here. Is we just need to add a wing to it. Now, bit of a debate. What I might do is do edit, copy that component, and what I might do is just drop it underneath here, paste it as a child. No. Oh no. Ignore that. Paste on here. Sorry, paste as. Good point. Okay. Let's create an empty and call it star outer arrow, and then paste it as a component as new in here. We'll go back to the scene here. We can see that the arrow is there. And we want the green to be facing upwards. Always have the green facing in the direction of the actual setup there. So just need to be aware of what these figures are here, because when we post it on the other side, we want them to be exactly the same. Start outer arrow, all should be okay. Lift area and coefficient, I mean, we'll leave them as it is. We'll see how it goes when we actually implement them. I might increase that to 2. We want quite a high one of those. Okie dokie. What I might then do is create a new one underneath here, create another empty. star inner arrow, same way. We'll just move that in into middle. We need to make note of those later on. That's fine. And hopefully now when we rotate those, it rotates these because they're a child of it, and that should affect the output. So okay, take that, do a copy component, paste component in there again. This component is new. That should work fine. And then what I want to do is come onto this side, do something similar, create an empty, do port outer arrow. I might already have it copied actually, maybe it'll allow me to do that. Do a paste component as new. Okay, now based upon what we've done out here on the outer arrow, that's 0.079 minus 0.224. If I move this in 2.22, 0.079, oops, 9.224, so that should match up equally. And they're just about right. And then on this side, create another empty, call it port inner arrow, and do the same again. Do a paste as new, similar setup, and we need to look at what that one is. That's 0.233, 0.107. So look at this side, 0.223, 0.107, so just change those. And that way it's equal on both sides. We don't need to move those should be based around that. So all we need to know is that we need to move it based upon those 4 items going into our setup. So at this level, so in the aero controller here, you can see the ref propeller pivots. And we've got the Elevons pivot, flat 4 pivot, flat 1 pivot, flat 2 pivot, Elevons pivot. Various pivots here that were to do with making the front element of the plane work correctly. So what we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove anything that's not the rudder. So what I could do is make, let's just move that up a bit like that, so I know those two are the two that are left. I don't think any of these are any use now. I'm just thinking about these little Lexes and everything else. Yeah, I don't think any of those are any use. So what I could do is set that to 2, and then I can start adding them in again. And then what we have to do is we say move that one in. Now we know it's got to go by 1 there. Max deflection, we can make that about 40 degrees actually. Actually speed you want to be pretty quick. The yaw factor is 0 on that. So this one is going to be the outer, and we said this is going to be our roll factor previously, so that wants to be 1. And we can make that 0.5 for the pitch factor, and that should be okay. Yep, that looks fine. Now, the question here is which way should that number go? So on here in the aero controller, what we've got is Z equals 1, and that tells us what kind of direction it should move in. Now I've put 1, so 1 usually means if you're increasing that value, so for example roll factor, will it go up or down? I always forget how to work these out, if I'm being honest. So I usually just do them afterwards. I usually test them, make them work, and then see what's happening. So I think that's what I'll do with this one, because I can't remember off the top of my head anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And it's probably what you'll do initially. So let's do that. Let's add another one in, and we add this one in. And it's the same setup. We'll just leave it as it is. Probably fine. I can't remember. But it's around Z anyway, so we know it's around Z, and that's fine. We'll work them out afterwards. We've got another 2, 1 for each of the other 2. So move this one in there, and we move that one into there. Okay, so we set those up now. And that should be correct. Other than, actually, we want the inner ones, which is the 2 CS2 ones, to actually be used for the flaps. So set that to 1. Set flaps to 1 on here. And we could reduce that down to like 0.2. Roll factor and 0.2 there. And that, what effectively that allows it to do is, if flaps are being utilised, it will switch those on first. If the flaps will overpower the other things. If they're not in use, it will use those 2 first. So hopefully that should give us the correct setup. We'll see how it works out after. So what we do is we drop it into the prefab. Do replace anyway. Okie dokie. Do a Windows bundle browser. Do a build, and I've got no compression on. No compression is just quicker, as I've said before. When you're doing test builds. And we'll leave that there while that's doing that, and I'll come back to it in a minute when we've got it up and running. So okay, so I've booted into the aircraft, and we can have a look at it now. You can see that we can see all the control surfaces. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to pitch nose down, and nothing happening. Pitch nose up, nothing happening. So that's not necessarily a good sign. Although, just check I'm not missing something really, really obvious. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, there we go. So now we're doing a roll. So roll right, and the wings are going down on the right, and the wings are going down on the left, which is obviously isn't correct. So what we need to actually happen is, in order to turn right, we need more lift on the left hand side, so that needs to stay down, and on the right hand side, on those outer ones, we want it to go up. Is that right? I think that's right. I need to think about that now. Although I am seeing a really odd thing, which is a bit worrying. In that the inner ones are doing something weird. As is the pitch actually. But okay. So right, left, right, left. So I need to fix those. Make sure those work correctly. The right wing should drop and left wing should go up. So I got that wrong way around over there. So we'd want the left wing to actually, the left aileron on the outer, to go upwards if we're turning right. So the right hand side one is correct, so we need to swap that one to be -1. That's fine. Now what I am seeing is that when I do pitch up and down here, it's moving really tiny amounts, which is a bit weird. And actually what I am noticing on the inner, as you can see here, those inner ones are actually not rotating correctly. they're rotating around the wrong axes by the look of it to me. So I need to go and check for that and correct those afterwards. I don't know why that would be. That seems a little bit odd. I've obviously not checked that because I thought that was working the same. So I need to go check on those. So, but if I make them the same as the other side, or the outer ones, what I need to make sure is that left go. It looks like actually pitch is incorrect as well. Pitch is inversed, so I need to make sure that that's correct as well. So it looks like pitch is inversed. So I need to make those negative to whatever they are now, and I need to change how much they actually pitch on the outside for some reason. That's a little bit odd. Okay, cool. Okay, so we'll stop that and we'll it's okay. So we're back inside Unity. What we noticed earlier was that those are rotating across the right thing. You see there's the X value, and I'm rotating across the wrong thing for those two. So that's okay. I've obviously mistaken those. So we can fix it out. So the outer ones, which are the two the two inner ones, which are CS2 and CS2 on the other side, those need to be rotating around x-axes to be correct. X-axes, and that will fix that problem. Okay, so the pitch factor here needs to be 1, and the pitch factor, our other one here, needs to be 1. I don't know why I'd left those at that, but I would have known that's incorrect. Those are okay theoretically. Maybe maybe that's 0.5, maybe make them move a little bit more. 0.5. Now what I did say was that the actual pitch was moving the wrong way around, didn't I? So we need to go and fix those. We need to fix that one. Pitch factor for the outer one. The CS1. Pitch factor on that one. I think the pitch factor will be the same on all of them actually, I would think. So that probably needs to change to minus. As does that. And then on the roll factor, I needed it to be the opposite way around on the left port hand side on the port, wasn't it? Which is L wing CS1. So the roll factor needs to be minus 1 that side, and it will be the same, I'm assuming, on this here actually. This one, and then we need to check the flaps after. So I now do that. Welcome to the world of modding. This bit of trial and error sometimes, especially with things like the wing stuff. I know there are ways other people do it, but if you want to find those, go find them. Ask people who know that better than me. People like Danko, and I can't remember who else. Maybe FA26. A couple of people who do different things to me on this stuff, but I don't do them. I do it this way. If you want to find other ways to do it, I'm sure there are more convenient ways we can do this stuff. So what I'm going to do is wait for that to update, and then I'll open it up and start. Okay, we're back to here. Let's have a look at him. Needs to be actually in the screen. So we turn right now, and the right aileron goes down, left aileron goes up. And actually on the left hand side there you can see that it doesn't go right for the inner one, so I need to fix the inner one on that one. So I've not fixed the left sided one there, I need to fix that. That's okay, I can fix that. Yeah, that left inner one I've made a cock up of. That needs to be inverted by the look of it. Yeah, that needs to be inverted on its axes. Huh. Interesting. My fault. So yeah, I need to change that one on that left hand side, and that will fix that. Up, down. All I'm going to do is go back into the cockpit and just try the flaps. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. So they're heavily changing the movement of the flaps. So I need to move that a lot less actually for the flaps. The right hand side is on the wrong way around for the flaps. I need to invert the right hand side flaps on the inner. And I probably need to reduce that to about 40% or something, 60% or something before it is. Okay, that's cool. I'll fix all those, but that's basically the issue there. So I need to make the flap so that that right hand side one is correct. I need to reduce the amount it goes down, which we'll go look at in a second. And then on the other side of this, I need to make sure that that one is inverted on that inner left hand side as a rule. So I'll need to invert it in total around its axes, and then I'll need to invert the flap as well, otherwise we'll break it each way. So back in here, pop the prefab. Yeah, okay. So let's go into here, and that left inner one, which is 2. Left wing TS2. I need to make that one -1. I need to make the flaps -0.5. I need to make the flaps on this one 0.5. I think that fixes everything then. I think that fixes everything. Pretty sure that resolves everything now, so we can make the prefab. Let's see how that works. Okay, so I did a little bit of testing off screen actually. I forgot to set it going, but what I found was it was rolling the wrong way around, so I'm obviously a moron. So I need to fix that. So let's fix that briefly. Yeah. One on that one. -1 that one. And then on this side, 0.5. -0.5. One of the things I did notice when it was flying, weirdly, is that it wasn't pitching very much. Which is a little bit odd. It's a little bit odd, to say the least. The arrows are definitely pointing up. The arrows are definitely pointing up. Yeah, of course. I think I made a bit of a cock up there. I forgot to take away the old arrows. Okay, well that makes a lot of sense. So to search for T-wing, I need to take away all these old stuff. So that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That needs to go. Order left arrow, right vert stab arrow, left vert stab arrow, Right base of arrow. Rudder left arrow. Rudder right arrow. Huh. Oh, yeah. Start Elevon arrow. So I need to go to that one. Star Lex arrow, delete that. Star inner, star outer arrow, port inner, port outer, delete that one too. The wings are where they are, I suppose, right now. Strictly speaking, it's probably not where I want them to be. Okay. Well, I think I also noticed, which is slightly odd, and I don't think I want that working like the way it currently is that the rudder ones seem to be adjusting based upon more than just yaw. Huh. Which is interesting, but they don't appear to be. Rudder pivot. Huh. Interesting. It's so when I'm turning left and right, those are actually turning, and yet they really shouldn't do. Okay. I don't really know why that would be. Top of my head. Okie dokie. Anyway, fine. Right, fine. Whatever. Right at this moment, I'm not going to worry too much about it, unless it's to do with outputs. No. There's nothing in there, is there? That sound to. No, I don't think it's anything to do with any of that stuff. Field control center now. Okie doke. I don't know why it's playing up a bit. Autopilot. I'm just trying to see if there's anything in here actually that it might be down to. Pitch controls. I don't think it's going to be any of this stuff, so I don't. Outputs. Assist. Just make sure I'm not doing anything in here with it. So it shouldn't be any of those things. Okay. Right. I can't think of anything else that it could be that's maybe causing that, so I might have to have a play around with it. But okay, well, in here, pitch factor actually is a good point. The pitch factor is actually pretty weak, so what I'm going to do is make that -1. -2. -1. And -2 on there for the pitch, and see whether that has a better effect than what I was having, and I'll test that. So this is one of those things that happens a lot when you're making aircraft. You're going to run into this time and again, and you're going to have to fix everything time and again, which is when you change anything and you're building a new aircraft, you'll find that things like the wings don't work, and you're going to have to mess with them, and you're going to have to faff with them, and it's going to take you ages to get it right. So welcome to building aircraft in VTOL. Sometimes it works out perfect the first time. This one clearly hasn't. Let's see what happens this time. Okay, you can see it's rocking backwards and forwards, which is a bit worrying. That means I'm getting no lift off my Elevons. Really, I'm getting a little bit. You can see it's gradually pulling up. Getting roll. Gain a little bit of height. This is down to the flight assist largely. Turn the flight assist off. I'll get control back. That'll just tell me I need to fix the PIDs on the flight control. But need to do a little bit of work on the Elevons then, I think. Maybe tone down the roll factor. Okay, yeah, we're getting there. I mean, the F-117 was never supposed to be a turning aircraft, in truth. So, you know, we're getting there. Air-scan, start view. Turn. There we go. Oh, it flies. Well, the flight master on, so the flight assist is going to need some fixing with its PIDs because it's a very different kind of aircraft in truth. It's something like the Tejas. So I'm going to have to fix those. But fundamentally, we have a flying F-117 using the control surfaces. It's a very twisty turning aircraft, I'll say that. That needs a bit of fixing. It probably comes with the PIDs as well. Cool. Okay, well there you go. We now have working